Hey, welcome back to Rev's Garage. Sorry we've been away for so long. I had a little bit of a mishap uh, with my phone, which is my camera. I crushed it. Yes. You know what? I was slacking. I was sitting in my recliner and it fell out of my pocket. Uh, Word to the wise. Sorry about the little shake there. Word to the wise. It's not good for a phone to get crushed in a recliner. So just remember that, Zeke. Don't play with your phone when you get one in your recliner. Few things I want to discuss. Projects. Well, we're working on a few of them still. We're not having much success. The red tractor, the Honda we talked about in the last video, uh, that one seems like it's going to be a little more. It seems like maybe the timing belt is bad, so there's no compression. So that means the valves are probably opened, and it's not allowing it to, or something of that nature. So we're gonna have to tear it apart, which will be fun. Uh, the scooter, I was just working on it a little bit, just not really doing anything that would be worthy of videoing, and can't quite figure it out. So I'm gonna have to get some help on that because I got spark, and now I don't have fuel, so which is weird. So we'll have to check that out. And no starter fluid works. So something's going on with that. So we're gonna have to call in an expert probably at some point. Maybe take it somewhere and have them look at it um, to get it running. But we did have one thing that did work. It's like sometimes you working on stuff and you're batting 0 for 100. You know, I mean, I like working on stuff and like having success and like you like running when it's done, right, Zeke? We like it when it's the boat's working. But sometimes we work on it and it doesn't work. And then we have to go back to the drawing board and just keep working on it and figuring it out. Well, that's kind of the way it is with most machines. That's kind of the way it is with life. So you just got to keep working at it and just trying to figure it out. Um, One thing we did figure out. I went to use my blower this last week and it didn't work. And come to find out, the spark plug was bad. So really quick, we're going to show you. This is the blower, and this little guy is the spark plug right here, in this region, right there. And basically, we had to change that. So basically, what it does, you find the right size socket, and you put it on. And most of the time, there's a spark plug socket that works for those. This one, actually, I didn't have one. I had to use just a different socket. And then you have your ratchet. This is a 3/8 inch ratchet, just for the record. Then you put that in there. Then you turn it. And just remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. That means when you want to loosen something, you're turning it this way. Always turn it this way, counterclockwise or to the left. And that loosens it. And then, so we loosen it up, and then we'll take that spark plug out. And what it looks like is this right here. That's what it looks like. And just to explain a little bit about what a spark plug does, there's a electrode that's in the center of it. See that little nub right there, and the hook that goes over the end of the plug, that right there, that's the electrode, I guess would be called. And basically, your motor, your coil, which is a whole nother thing that we're gonna someday talk about probably, throws electricity to that, and it creates a spark between those two things, that little gap. And on a spark plug, you got to make sure that gap is good, which on most things, that gap is preset. On like for most of these small motors, the gap is preset, so you don't have to mess with that. So you take that spark plug out. So lefty, loosey, righty tighty. So we're gonna pretend we already put it in. We tighten it up, and then we take this little boot. See, it's the boot, and that has a little part in there, and it clicks on. And that's how you change a spark plug. Now, and most things, the spark plug is pretty accessible because it's something you have to change. Now, most of the time, you deal with this in the spring when you're firing up a lawnmower, blower, the edger I have, this little guy here, that little edger. That's a pretty cool little machine that edges the sidewalk out. And most things have their spark plugs right out front, like a lawnmower. And generally, it's not a bad idea. It doesn't hurt. For $4, change the spark plug every year or every 2 years, and it makes sure that it has a fresh spark. Because what happened with this blower here, is the spark plug didn't work. It was all carboned up. That means it had, basically what happens is the fuel doesn't burn off, and then a black soot forms on the spark plug, and then it doesn't want to spark really good. Or also, and what happened to this is too much fuel got into the carburetor or into the motor, and it fouled that plug out and made it so it had so much fuel that it drowned the spark, and it wouldn't allow the spark. And sometimes, which was in the case of back in the day, which was a long time ago, Zeke, when Grandpa was a little guy, the motors used to follow the spark plugs, and they would wreck all the spark plugs in your car motor, which is kind of cool that I know that, because today spark plugs are so different, and they're just so much more advanced. Like this spark plug here, this is a NGK. See the little NGK there, R resistor, and most of the time that little nub there is copper in some of the older plugs, and the new plugs, like that go in the car, they're tungsten, so they're just really durable and they last a long, long time. So you don't have to ever change them, like 100,000 miles, so you don't have to change them. But in this little guy, it was bad. So that's how you change a spark plug. And then the blower starts right up and works really good, and then we have no issues with it. And that was the fun for this week. So, Zeke, these are for you, so listen up. When someday when your go-kart, your dirt bike, or whatever doesn't start, it might be the spark plug. So now you know how to change the spark plug. And you always make sure that you don't get anything in the hole where the spark plug goes. Where the spark plug comes out of, there's going to be a hole there. Just make sure nothing gets in there when you're changing the spark plug. And be very careful, put the spark plug back in. And usually, as is the case with this blower, it started right up, and it made it all better, and then it worked, and I could blow all the stuff off. So that's basically what we wanted to discuss today, because nothing real heavy, because it's our first video back. So just wanted to discuss the changing of a spark plug. Now, I'm having some trouble with my phone. The camera is glitching, so if this goes to glitching, I'm going to still try to download it, and it might just be glitching a little bit, and it'll look like I'm twitching. But don't worry about it. It's my phone. I'm going to call the phone people. But I wanted to get something out there because I know Zeke Boy's waiting for a new video from Grandpa in Red's garage. So I had to make sure I got one out there. But I want to end our video with Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto thine own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." And that's how I live my life, and that's how I want my Zeke Boy to live his life. That we just trust God and we do whatever he says through his word, the Bible. Because that's the only way we're going to make sure that we're going down the right path. And the Bible is like an owner's manual. Okay? It's like when you get a new toy and there comes a little tag that says this is the owner's manual, how to put the batteries in, how to start it, how to do all the stuff you want to do with it. Well, with any of these motors that I have, they have owner's manuals. Basically the creator's manual. The people that made the machine and created the machine, and they're telling you how to operate the machine. Well, you know what? The Bible is like that. It's like an owner's manual for us as people. Like the Creator gave us a manual how we can go through life. One, how our bodies work, which is pretty cool. The Bible talks a lot about how the human body works and how we have to keep it clean and do certain things. And back in Bible times, it was really dirty. So God wanted them to be clean. So they had to wash their feet all the time. And so when mom asked you to wash your feet, Zeke, just wash your feet. It's good. It's good. It's a good thing. Or when you get a little older, you have to wash your hands after going potty. Make sure you wash your hands. You got to be clean. It's important. The Bible talks about being clean. But the owner's manual is really important. And if you follow it, you'll have success. and you'll be a great young man and a great man someday. And Grandpa wants you to be that first and foremost. So, just want to encourage everyone that we're going to try to put one out once a week if we can. And just remember, God loves you, and Zeke Boy Grandpa loves you. And Rev's Garage out.